This is the year of the Sonic gamers. It's the year of so musty Sonic. The problem with Shadow Generations. What's wrong with this, huh? I like Sonic Generations. Oh, sorry, Shadow Generations. Best game is... I think I posted my thing. You know, you guys were posting your like top 30 games ever made. I think I posted my one and I added Shadow Generations, Sonic X Shadow Generations. I think I added it like 14th or something like that. And it might have seemed like a crazy shout, but like I genuinely believe that. I think Shadow Generations is probably like one of my favorite games ever made. The combination of Sonic and Shadow Generations, I fucking love it. Shadow Generations is so fucking cool, man. I feel like it's the boost formula perfected. That's what I feel like. So, Dumbsville, you have made the calamitous error of being wrong in the presence of Sir Moresty. Can you convince me, though? I'm guessing from the first frame of this, he's going to do like a lore... Oh, for fuck's sake, is he going to do a lore thing?
Dad, can we start the video?
Hang on, why is your audio so low? Let me turn you right up.
Dad, can we start the video already, please? I've been waiting for like... Can we? What? Harry, the Dumbsville Twitter account was banned for no reason.
The Dumbsville Twitter account was banned for no reason? Oh no! What's happened here?
Had to move to
Why are we clapping? We shouldn't be clapping, we're sad!
Aren't you, Dumbsville? Subscribing to the Dumbsville Patreon page will give you early access.
Okay, so Patreon plug. I'm gonna... if you don't mind, Mr. Dumbsville, I don't know you like that. So we're just gonna move on ahead, okay?
I'm thinking I'm back.
Games for Windows Live.
Now, first I want to make this abundantly clear. I actually really liked Shadow Generations, which is shocking for me because I haven't liked a Sonic thing in like, what, 12 years? Not counting Sonic...
12 years? Oh.
Like Mania or maybe the movie. When it comes to Mania...
Okay, well that's not... Okay, well... Listen, am I being a... You can't say you haven't liked something for 12 years and then say, but not including this. I don't think it's fair. I'm just saying, I don't think it's fair. Frame one unfairness. I'm just saying. How long ago was Sonic Mania? Hang on. Let's do some research. I'm calling the referee on this one. Hang on. Sonic Mania release date. 2017. If anything, you could just say, hang on, how long ago was this released? 2 weeks ago. You could literally just say you haven't liked anything Sonic for what? 7 years? I think that had the same impact. If someone said to me you haven't liked a video game series for 7 years, that's still an insane. You had to exaggerate with 12. I'm just saying. I told the referee, and the referee said, "By the way, I'm not going to put it past you, but that is definitely one strike. You won't want to find out what happens when you get 2 more." Let's continue.
Line...
Yes, I haven't liked a Mario Kart game for 17 years, not including all of it. I'm just saying, a little crazy, Dumbsville, but I'm not going to hold it against you. I'll let you know when I hold something against you. Let's continue.
Sonic Team made games. I haven't liked any of them since Generations.
Set that shit I don't like.
A game that, while it is my favorite Sonic game ever, still has a lot of room for improvement. It's weird that Generations is seen as a peak game in the franchise, even by me. Because looking back when this game came out, it felt more like a game where there was still more to do. Unleashed in Colors, the first 2 games in the Boost Formula series, felt more like experiments, just trying to figure out what to do with the Boost formula. And in that context, Generations feels like a big aha moment for Sonic Team. But at the same time, it isn't a perfect game and did have flaws of its own. Flaws that could have been a good thing, as the game was practically begging for a sequel. It was a game that was way too short and fell apart at the very last minute, with Planet Wisp just being kind of god-awful, and the final boss being genuinely terrible. But seriously though, for those who don't know about the Time Meter boss, to quote Tame Impala,
I miss the old Kanye.
Used to shop at all D's. It had some incredibly weak side content, and while seeing older levels reimagined was very novel at the time, the game did leave me longing for new levels in this Boost formula style.
Hang on, I'm really sorry, Dumbsville. You're cooking up something. I'm not sure what yet. It's like you're Link at the moment. You've thrown a bunch of things in the pot, and I'm just standing there waiting at the moment. But I had to stop the video. Planet Wisp was not that bad. Me when I lie. Me when I lie. And yeah, guys, just as a heads up, the editing is definitely a bit much by my standards personally, but we'll let it slide. We'll tank the zoomer damage.
style. The refined boost formula showcased in Generations deserved more.
It's not so ADHD is ruining. It's like let's say here's like my ideal amount of like editing, and like this is like certified zoomer editing. It's like up here, you know. It's not up here where I'm actively hating my life. It's close-ish. It's getting there, but I'll let you slide, Dumzo. I'll let you slide.
So when Sonic Team didn't do
It's watchable.
that
It's definitely
ever,
watchable.
It ended up being incredibly frustrating. Not only did Sonic Team throw away everything they did with Generations, but they also made the baffling move of just making dog shit slop games.
If it's got Sonic, then it, you know.
Okay, so I'm guessing he's gonna recap each game real quick. So I'm gonna listen, Dumzo. I'm sure your recap is very much entertaining, but I really want to get to the namesake. Am I being ADHD? I'm gonna skip ahead a tiny bit, just a tiny bit, okay?
And everything ended up being severely underwhelming, and then a world game that feels way too bloated and empty with a combat
Oh,
system
you don't like Forces? Forces is alright. I need to play more of that.
that feels pretty clunky and terrible, and somehow the actual Sonic levels still aren't on the level of Generations from like 12 years ago. I mean, for one thing, they're all just reused level design.
Frontiers. What did I say? So what did I say?
Anyways,
Did I not
but
say
for another,
Frontiers?
the movement still isn't quite
Oh, I said Forces. My bad. Yeah, I meant to say Frontiers. My bad.
there. I mean, it feels kind of better than Forces, but outside of one level, there's still no short hopping or drifting, which, by the way, the drift feels awful in this level. So I've had people get on me for not liking this game, but I've tried.
How do you
I've
like
beaten
Forces?
this thing, and I don't like it. I don't know what else to tell you. I guess I'll strap myself in a chair and force myself to like it, maybe.
Insert good visuals here or something. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely very zoomer coded.
This, on top of the fact that the franchise just doesn't appeal to me like it used to, made me very cynical towards Shadow Generations, the newest side game thing released alongside a Sonic Generations remaster. So it was incredibly shocking to me that I actually liked this thing, way more than I thought I would, in fact. Wait a minute, so you're telling me if you make a boost formula game that's actually fun and good, people will actually buy it and enjoy it?
Crazy.
What?
Yeah.
What we've been waiting for.
Crazy.
However, I would not call it the peak of the franchise.
What makes you say that? As far as I'm concerned, I really enjoyed it, Dummersville. Tell me. I'm here for it. Yes. Let's get to the video.
It's an incredibly strong 7 out of 10, but there's still tons of areas that need
7 out of... Woo, hang on. I'm sitting up, gamers. I'm sitting up. If he likes it, why is he making a video on it being flawed? Brother, hang on. I'm gonna do something just for you, Low Main. I'm gonna teach you a little something, okay? I need to give me 1 second, okay? There's a little something. There's a little something I need to teach you, brother. Is that on the YouTube algorithm, being nice just doesn't work. So even if you like something, you know what you have to do. You gotta make sure that you say bad things because the algorithm loves that shit, baby. Lesson to you, okay? That's how it goes.
improvement. So take this as more of a wish list of things that I hope they do in the next game. Assuming, you know, the next game is a boost game and isn't Lost World 2. First off, some things that I like that I hope they keep around. First off, again, please keep the boost formula. I know Sonic fans will disagree with me on this, but Shadow Gens really proves to me that there is more to do with this formula. Something
Do people hate the boost? Hang on, I'm like a newbie to the online Sonic space. Do people hate the boost for? Do people really hate the boost formula this much? That like saying don't have it in is considered controversial? Because I know if you ask me, some people don't like it. But like, yeah, fair. But like, he's making it out to seem like that's a take that's a bit controversial. I criticize nothing new. Boomer Lamau. It's all false fun. You can like some of our criticizing aspects about it. I like Mario Kart, but some aspects aren't great. Yeah, but like you got to do that on the internet because of the. Where is it? Yeah, but like doing it on the internet is because of the money. It's how it is. It's how it is. Camp. Everyone's doing it for money. It's divisive for sure. It's divisive. Most Sonic fans prefer Sonic Adventure style games. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but they haven't made one of those in ages. Like, is it really that crazy? I don't know. As a resident Sonic fan, I think a lot of people think the boost limit is the level design. The next game should be entirely momentum-based without the boost to slow down basic movement. I feel like there's definitely a world post-boost formula that's definitely more interesting. I agree with that for sure. But I think in Generations, they did it fantastically. That's what I think so.
I've always felt like was the case, but now I'm actually confident that Sonic Team won't fuck it up next time. On that note, what makes this game great is the level design. It reminds me of Sonic 06 in a good way, where there's plenty of alternate routes and shortcuts. And man, they went all out with the routes in this thing. There are some routes that I discovered while recording footage for this game. And there's also new shadow powers that open up even more routes to you. It's like, god damn, you didn't have to go that hard. And the levels actually feel a lot longer and more enjoyable too.
Impressive. Very nice.
The new version of Sunset Heights took me 5 minutes on my first playthrough, and makes me even more upset that this isn't the version of Forces we got. Like, man, they could have made a whole game like this. Damn. Hey, maybe in 5 years we'll get a Sonic Forces remake that makes it an actual good game like this. Also, the game doesn't fall apart at the last minute like
I hate
Generations
Sonic Frontiers
does.
as well.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the bosses in this game, although with that being said, I haven't really gone back to them, so I might just suck ass at them. But
The bosses. I liked Metal Overlord is. See, the Bio Lizard was okay. What are the other bosses? Mephiles? I was just kind of like, Mephiles was cool-ish. Easily the best boss was Metal Overlord. That was like a fucking really good boss. I loved the Metal Overlord. I loved it. It was easily the most fun boss to S tier.
they are miles upon miles better than whatever the fuck the Time Eater was.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
The general movement is also pretty good too, with Shadow being much more rigid in his movement. It's a bit more like Sonic Adventure 1 or 2, as opposed to the very loose movement of Generations. Now, I actually enjoy the loose movement in that game, as it incentivized that drifting, short-hopping movement I love. It felt very weighty, and I liked that. However, I also see the vision for Shadow's movement here, as it is a generally better fit for the level design they're going for. I also enjoyed the more cinematic set pieces, as they make the levels more interesting, and allow for
listen, I love the cinematic set. I am an old man. I love it when the game takes control for me and does something cool, okay? And I'm not even joking when I say that. The cinematic elements of Shadow Generations were really fucking cool, man. I was like, I really felt like I was Shadow. Yes! I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I really did. Based on the Sonic games I've played, they don't have the most consistent gameplay or controls in my... What? You mean Sonic games as a whole? Like all of them? That's a crazy claim, so I'm not gonna be honest. Try playing Mania? Mania's pretty tough. Sonic wasn't ever the strong Super Generations gets a pass for me. Hell yeah. Sonesty loves COD campaigns and endings. Yes! Don't tell me you like the automation. No, I don't like the automation. I don't like it when I'm just like hold Y to win. But like moments like this when like Shadow's just riding and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what the hell, Doctor Strange moment? And it's like Doomsday's like, I've missed you, Shadow. I want more of that shit. Okay, and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm in like Radical Highway all of a sudden. Where the fuck am I? I want more of that shit. Okay, I love that shit.
narrative to happen within the gameplay itself. I don't really enjoy the QuickTime events in them though.
He's wrong.
I would have preferred something a bit more seamless in that regard. Maybe similar to what Uncharted does, where the gameplay and cutscenes kind of mesh together, without the need for any QuickTime events or anything.
I love QuickTime events.
Or for a more fitting example, what Ratchet & Clank essentially does.
Because I'm having a hard time thinking while running away from a giant homicidal. Guess fate really loves seeing you get your butt kicked.
Can we get back to the video, please? Can we get back to the video, please?
If they
Thumbs up.
keep
Thank
all
you.
this a somewhat
Appreciate
cinematic
it.
Sonic game that combines exploration and the boost formula, and furthermore doesn't fall apart at the last minute, the next game could be really interesting, I feel. But okay, though, here's the actual problems I have, because I know how much you guys want to hear me get angry, so here we go. First off,
I'm here for it. Come on.
while the movement is better than Forces and Frontiers, it's still not Generations or Unleashed. As in, there's still no drifting or short hopping. I think short hopping is the most confusing mission, as there's plenty of moments where I would have liked to short hop to try and speedrun the level, but sadly I can't because it doesn't exist in this game. And that's weird, isn't it? The game about moving fast doesn't have a short hop that lets you keep your speed up? I mean, for fuck's sake, Sonic Generations on the 3DS is a short hop? What gives?
Yo, God, short hop.
The zoom editing is killing me, brother. I'll take this as an opportunity to say unfavourable. Thank you so much. Radical Highway Simulator when a Black Doom shows up. Yes, I love Radical Highway. I can't just say I'm going to be honest, Dumbswell. I can't really say I care. It's me, like, I don't even have like a crazy counter argument for you into like the Sonic fans in the chat are gonna have to help me. But like, I've never felt like once when I was playing the level. I'm bearing in mind I did go for all S ranks. I mean, I've got every single S rank in the entire Shadow Generations. I went for all of them. I can't really say I was like, man, short hopping, man. The drifting as well. Even when I replayed Sonic Generations, the drifting parts in Speed Highway were okay, but I was never like, no, more drifting. Like in also in Rooftop Run as well. The drifting was cool. I was like, yeah, but it was never something I'm clamoring for. You know, I don't know, brother. I'm gonna be honest. You're not winning me over, Dumbsville. Your name is very accurate right now.
Also, please properly bring back the drift. I've seen people misunderstand why the drift was there in the first place, saying it's a crutch for Sonic's loose movement, which, no. I mean, sure, it helped you take corners better, but it also helped to fill your boost gauge back up. So there was a real game to maintaining your boost. The removal of that leads to only one way to fill up the boost gauge, making the boost gauge less rewarding and less fun to use. Generations drifting.
If anything, I would disagree. It makes it so that your boost, like, you have to be able to, like, use your boost as a resource. Like, there were like some portions, not a lot, but there were definitely some portions where when I was like playing through the level to do it as fast as possible, I noticed that like because I was holding the boost button too much, I was running out of boost at a portion where I probably needed it. So I had to like feather it a bit or savor it. In some instances, it didn't happen a lot to the point where like it was like a recurring thing, but it did happen enough where I'm like, oh, like I have to make sure I keep my boost in this part so that when I get to the end part, then I can kill these enemies and get more boost. You know, it's the same with like the chaos control stuff. You know. There were some instances where the game simply gives you a full pot of chaos control to do a chaos control thing, but there are some parts where like you want to keep your chaos control so you can do a certain thing that you want to do, you know? Like, it kind of depends. I like that. My biggest gripe with strategy is the lack of momentum completely. Adding a spin dash or actual ball momentum would make the boost formula perfect. I mean, yeah, I could definitely agree with that. I definitely do feel like whenever I was stopped still and I didn't have any boost, it just kind of felt kind of shit. Like, there was no way, like, the fact that there's no way to gain speed or, like, momentum without a boost does kind of suck in a way. I don't really mind it too much, but I can definitely see you saying that it kind of sucks. So maybe the drift being out in principle is a bit annoying, but, like, I can't really say it affected my enjoyment of the game. And I don't really feel like Shadow's levels needed it. Like, drifting implies that there's, like, areas with, like, really tight turns or U-turns, like with Speed Highway or Rooftop Run. Were there really any instances where I was like, man, a drift would have worked perfectly here because I was like, I'm doing, like, a U-bend or, like, a really sharp turn? I don't know, Mr. Dumbsville. Like, I can't really say I'm agreeing with you too much, but let's continue.
Was, in my opinion, perfect. One of the best movesets in Sonic's arsenal. And the continuous removal and downgrade has been just baffling to me. Put it back already, damn it.
Please take away your drifting! Roll it, take away your move!
This is why, in my opinion, Shadow Gens feels less like a Generations successor and more like a Sonic Forces successor. A what if Sonic Forces was good kind of game. And it succeeds at that, but it's still not at the level of a game from 12 years ago.
That's insane to me. I'm gonna be honest, brother. That is insane to me. As someone who played Sonic Generations back when it came out, and I played it before I played Shadow Generations is just way cooler. I got to play as Shadow, and I like Shadow. Shadow's really cool.
Speaking of which, this is more apparent when you actually play Generations in this remaster.
I did.
A game that still feels amazing to control. It makes the downgrade in Shadow Gens a bit more apparent. Now, to clarify, that doesn't mean that Shadow Gens is unenjoyable, not in the slightest. And I would say, if we're judging purely off the boost to gameplay and not anything else in the game, it is, in my opinion, the third best. But when the guy outpacing you right above you is a game from 2008, and the first 3D boost formula game, and the guy below you made its sacrifices because it's a literal Wii game and still somehow has short hopping in it, it makes your bronze medal way less impressive.
Do you know what you sound like? You sound like the Sonic equivalent. If this is a correct analogy, let me know. If I'm off, let me know. This feels like the Sonic equivalent of man, the modern Pokemon games don't have the XP share anymore. What the fuck, guys? Why don't you have the XP share anymore? The game accounts for the XP curve now, so we don't need the XP share. Like, because at no point did I feel like I needed short hopping. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like at no point in a modern Pokemon game do I feel like I need to turn off the XP share. At no point in a modern Sonic game did I feel like I needed short hopping. Maybe I need to go back and play Sonic Generations with now that I know short hopping exists and see how cool it is. But like, as someone who likes to go for every S tier, I can't really say I notice the difference. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say to you, Dumbsville. You're just being a short hop Andy. You're like if, oh man, Ultimate sucks. Why does Smash Ultimate suck? No wave dashing. It's like, Japanese man is still fighting World War II 27 years after it ended? Like, what are we doing here? Like, at least for me, I know when I'm playing Shadow Generations, even though the name is technically Generation, so like it kind of feels like it's a Sonic Generation successor. For me, like, I think the Shadow part is the more important part. I'm playing a Shadow who has like, he's similar to Sonic, but has like a different moveset. So if there's like certain ways that he feels different, like, I'm okay with that. Like, I personally did notice that, like, the homing attack does kind of kill your momentum. So when I was going for, like, the S ranks, I tried my hardest to avoid homing attacking enemies. And that was really, really fun. You know, like, I had a lot of fun with that. I just don't know what to say. It's just short hop. That's all the argument is so far. It's just short hop drifting, doesn't have short hop, doesn't have drifting, therefore bad. And I'm just like, okay, I can't really say I care. Sure, pop off.
I also think the game is both too short yet too bloated, and has some really bad pacing issues overall. Now, yes, this is a...
If anything, I would say this was paced fantastically. I always felt like I was doing cool shit. I was either playing a main level, I was doing some decent... Again, the side content wasn't fucking cinema, but like it wasn't... I had more fun with the side content in this game than I did with Generations Sonic. So I'm just like... All challenges being mandatory wasn't my favorite. Being mandatory was a little bit, but like I think it broke up the pacing decently well, and that's what I liked about it. That's what I appreciate about it.
A side game within a remaster, so it only being 3 hours long is understandable. But the thing is, bad pacing is a pretty consistent issue, stemming all the way back to at least Sonic Unleashed. And
I'm really hoping you point out exactly where the bad pacing comes from. I'm really hoping.
It's weird seeing Sonic Team make the same mistakes they did here.
Okay, where's the bad pacing?
Yes, the game is too short. Again, since this is a side game, it's understandable, but it feels like there is more to explore in the style here. And while
but you said pacing. I'm not letting him go, chat. He said pacing. When you say, like, when people say Pokemon Platinum has bad pacing, I understand that. There's like a portion of the game where you do like 3 gym battles basically in a row, non-stop without any breaks in between. It's like, yeah, that's bad pacing. Where's the bad pacing in this? You do some levels, you do some side content, then you do a boss. Isn't that the pacing? Like, am I wrong with that? I think that's a well-paced game. Like, what are we doing? Like, is you saying pacing a shorthand for it's too short? If so, like, is pacing being? Yeah, I think it's being used as a buzzword here because I gave you an example of what bad pacing is. Should we just let him go again? Let me finish his point. Let me go back.
Sonic Team make the same mistakes they did here. For one thing, yes, the game is too short. Again, since this is a side game, it's understandable, but it feels like there is more to explore in the style here. And while this is a better package than something like Sonic Forces, it still left me going, man, I wish there was more here to actually play. Because what's here is really fun. But the problem is there's not really enough of it. A bigger problem, though, is that there's a weird amount of padding in this game.
So where's the padding?
Stuff that's there to clearly make the game longer than it actually is, but in turn really harm the pacing. I'm of course talking about side missions, which aren't actually side missions, and boss keys. You see, there are parts in the game where you can't progress to a boss fight until you get the boss keys, which are locked behind side missions. But the thing is, every side mission is required to complete in order for every boss key to be obtained anyways. What this does is, first of all, make the side missions no longer side missions. So, like, what's the point? And secondly, it brings the game to a...
Does the game advertise them as side missions?
Screeching halt, meaning you gotta go all the way back, explore the hub world for these side missions, and go all the way back to the boss gate. It ends up being really repetitive and annoying to do, and pauses the pacing. And again, this is an issue that's been going on for a weirdly long... Like
in Sonic, you could say it was a... Maybe he just really doesn't like the mandatory side stuff. Yeah, I suppose. I just can't really say that was much of an issue. I think this is a simple case of I just don't agree. Like, where like the missions, where the mandatory missions you had to do before the bosses, not like they weren't bad, but they were not like when I did. Okay, so just like I 100%, 100%. I think I did. Yeah, 100% in Sonic Generations, right? And yeah, there were some side missions in that game were like boring. They were like fucking boring. I don't think at any point in any of the boss key missions I was bored. In fact, there was somewhere when I got on A rank, I'm like, fuck, let me do that again so I can get an S rank, you know? There was some that inspired me to go for an S rank. So, like, I guess I just don't agree. It's simple as that, really. He's acting like Shadow Generations had something like the Werehog that distracts from traditional gameplay, but Shadow Generations is just Sonic gameplay the whole time, and it's great. I don't know what to make of this. Zelda content, boss keys in my Shadow game. Yes, we like Zelda here. Okay, I need to do more Zelda stuff. I need to play more. I need to play Zelda. The One Ring challenges actually bored me. The One Ring challenges were not fun. The ones where you had to like use Chaos Control to like get through a stage, those were quite fun. I like those. But yeah, I think it's just a simple case of I don't agree. Now I'll defend him. Side missions is a weird name for a required aspect with semantics. If they were just missions, it probably would be one. Does the game call them side missions though? Like if he's going to be semantic, I will be semantic. Are they actually called side missions in the game, or are they just called missions? Because in like Sonic Generations, they're side missions because you like one is mandatory, but the rest are not. So we're being pedantic. They're called challenge acts, so they're not side missions. So when he calls them side missions, he's technically wrong. Oh, Dumbsville, you made the mistake. Yes, you made the mistake of being wrong. Oh, see, I just don't agree. This is a simple case of I don't agree.
Large amount of time. Sonic Unleashed had those dumb-ass Sun and Moon medals. Lost World had that stupid fleeky thing, both of which preventing you from going to the next level until you collected enough of MacGuffin X. Sonic Frontiers, meanwhile, has an entire game designed around that, and surprise, surprise, I don't like that game.
But Dumpsy, Generations also had boss keys. What are you talking about?
Wow, what an incredible observation that you assumed that I liked it there too. Unfortunately for you, though, I didn't like the boss keys in Generations either, so take that, Sonic fans. Although in the defense,
the hypothetical Sonic fan you just made up, by the way, I don't see a tweet. I didn't see a tweet. So you just made someone up to get mad at. Are you just making someone up to get mad at, Dumbsville? Crazy.
of Sonic gens, at least the boss keys required only one side mission to unlock. So you could actually choose which one you wanted to do, and it was certainly a way for the game to teach you, hey, we have side missions here.
Damn, you own that imaginary person.
And that, to me, I don't love it, but I guess it's acceptable. In Shadow Gens, though, you gotta do 2 challenges per boss key, and you'll have done all of them by the time you beat the game, which makes them feel like exactly what they are, padding out the game's runtime. I wish Sonic Team would actually find a way to pace their game out properly, and not rely on this really weak side content that bloats the game out. That
I think, again, this is just a change of pace. I think it's just padding out the game's 1 hour runtime. he's using a horrible word there in padding for a game that's like, what, like 1 to 2 hours. Again, I just don't agree. I think that the formula of main levels, challenge acts, and then boss worked very well for me. I enjoyed it. I did not like going for those music notes, so a lot of the time I skipped them, but I did like the challenge acts themselves. I don't know.
Really isn't engaging enough on its own to justify it. I think maybe just making the side content more than just challenges would go a long way to giving these side missions more gravity. And maybe—
Okay, what would you want to do though? I think side challenges are good. Like, I think that's a good form of extra content. What would you want to do?
Finding ways to make it less obvious that it's a halting progression could make the whole thing less abrupt. Remember, this is a game about hedgehogs going fast, and I think it's really weird to add a brick wall to that. It kind of defeats the point of a game titled Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, was he literally— oh my— Jesus Christ. Jesus, in the big 2024, in the big 2024 chat, in the large 2024, he's using game says Sonic, therefore should be fast. Jesus, I've not heard that since like 2010. I've not heard that since I was a kid. Good Lord, what is happening in here, man? I don't know what to say to that. Is that really how do they change the name of the protagonist just so they can slow the pace down a tiny bit, and then you would have to, because technically if it's not called Sonic and they slowed down the pacing, you couldn't complain. That'd be it. And also technically, if we're being really technical, this is Shadow Generations, not Sonic Generations. So you're actually destroyed. It's called Shadow Generations. So where's the darkness? Because where there's light, there must be shadow. Where is the shadows? I'm seeing shadow, but I don't see shadows. You're wrong. You're actually just wrong. You're so wrong. You've never been more wrong before. I want my money back.
I also think the hub world needs a bit of work. Now, to be clear, I think it's way better than whatever Frontiers was. The navigation and figuring out where to go is way better, and it's much more visually pleasing too. It doesn't look like Sega hired this man, but rather hired an actual person to design this thing. It's still a little unrefined though, I feel, with some areas feeling very clunky to navigate. I feel like Sonic Team still doesn't know how to do these open environments properly. And while this is a massive step up,
Could you give me like examples of areas where it felt clunky to you? Because I don't agree. Again, I think this video would work if you just gave me examples instead of yapping. But I guess you're a bit of a yapper. Just like with Mikey Fuller gifting 5 memberships. Yeah! So Sammy Shayla, Ethan Barlow, Queen Promise, Destiny Unbound, and Q8000. You guys better say thank you. But if they don't say thank you, I will say thank you. Thank you so much, Mikey. I really do appreciate that. Far too kind. Far, far too kind. Thank you so much. But yeah, like, I never thought the hub world, like, was it a bit hard to navigate initially? Yeah, that's because I was, like, learning the new world. But, like, when I got used to it, I didn't really feel like it was clunky or anything. I just felt it was... Again, some examples of like the clunk would be nice, but I don't think you're going to provide any. I think you just wanted to yap. I think you're a yap maxer, Dumbsville. You're a yap maxer. So Mario 3 Land's a Tails game. True, it is. It's a Tails game. That's what they call Mario. Mario's actually called Miles.
From Frontiers, they're clearly still learning. I do appreciate it being smaller and more cohesive though. This is the direction they should go in and refine for the next game. There's also...
Why do so many video essays reviewers never bring up examples to back their points? That's like the base of making their argument. It's a very good question, Draco guy. It's a very, very good question. If I'm being cynical, I would say they're lazy and they don't expect anyone to hold them to account with their actual reviews. Which is fair. Most people won't. Most people probably got this in the background while playing Fortnite. So most people aren't listening. And 3, or 3, he's just dumb. Okay, that's mean. No, that's mean. Don't apologize. Don't applause that. Okay, that was mean. But I would say it's just laziness and the people don't care. I think that's probably the best combination of the two. Because when I'm watching a review, when I'm watching someone make a video called The Problem with Shadow Generations, like, I want you to say, here's the problem. Like, okay, that's the problem. Give me some examples. That's what I want. He's dumb. It's in there. Actually, technically, I can call him dumb. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I can call it. It's not mean. Yeah, I would just say it's just not something people do, and it's sad, really sad. I would love to know, because like I want to know what I want to pick up what you're putting down. Like, I'm not watching this video with the intent of disagreeing with you entirely. Like, I want to watch this video and go, okay, this person doesn't like one of my favorite games ever made. It's like in my top 20 now, right? So I'm just like, I want to know what is it about you that doesn't like this game? You mentioned short hopping and breaking. Either I don't play Sonic like that, or most people don't, in all fairness. I didn't really care. And then you've also mentioned the hot world. You also mentioned the side modes ruining the padding, which is just a simple, I don't agree. I think it's a lovely way to break up the pacing. And you've also mentioned the open world being clunky, and I'm just like, okay, that's one you could provide examples for, but you provided none. So I'm like, I can't agree with you on any point. It's actually ridiculous. But I can agree with Mocha brewing me 5 gifted memberships. I really did forget to turn off the hypnosis, didn't I? The dono hypnosis. Cam the MVP, Shucky98, Will Gaming, #1 Soda Enjoyer, and T. Joe Matic. You guys better say thank you. But if they don't say thank you, I will say thank you. Thank you so much, Mocha, for brewing us this lovely brew of 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. You're far too kind. You really, really are. Thank you. But to continue, I think people will sometimes just agree with the point. There could be someone who doesn't like the boss keys, for example, and they'll just take that complaint at face value. Yeah, I think that's true. And like for me, it's like, I think people will probably watch this because they're a fan of the YouTuber as opposed to wanting to change their mind. Does that make sense? Which is fine. No, which is fine, because I'm sure there's probably some instances where like, I've made content that you guys probably don't like. Say for example, I make a Pokemon video and you don't watch Pokemon, but you like So Mercy, so you watch it. So when I complain about a thing about Pokemon, you'll just take it at face value because you don't really have anything to counter off, which is fine. But I think that just ends up making for a worse review when somebody actually wants to take the review at face value, you know? Like, there's people who watch this because they like Dumbsville, but there's people like me who I'm like, I don't know who you are, so I want my mind changed. I want you to change my mind. But I guess the world isn't catered for people like me, the intellects, the smart people, the 300 IQ people who actually want to engage with arguments. It's all just slop at the end of the day. But it's just a shame, really. People want to hear people yap. They're like not necessarily to be informed. Yeah, I think that's probably true. At least in the case of Dumbsville's channel. I'm sure there are other channels where like somebody intends to like be a reviewer. But like Dumbsville's probably not one of them. Dumbsville's probably just like, okay, like what does he do, for example? Does he like reviews his shtick? If reviews are his shtick, I'll be very disappointed. But like, I think he just like makes videos. It's like, oh, why Silent Hill 2 is perfect. Well, bad games should be reserved. The Rise and Fall. So he just makes like general videos as opposed to like making reviews. So it's like he probably just wants to yap about a topic and call it a day. But the fact that one a month, like two videos, one video a month. Brother, you got the upload count. Brother, hang on. Every time, chat, somebody uploads videos at a slow rate when they probably could be uploading more. Where is it? 185 bones. 185 for what? For one video a month, Dumbsville. You're gonna be doing more than that. Like, that's not enough. Put the content in the bag, little bro. Let's keep watching. Oh man.
Some shockingly pretty decent
I
environmental.
mean, the editing's probably why the uploads are slow. Hire an editor from Argentina. Okay, hire someone from Afghanistan. You can get them for real cheap. Real cheap. Turkey's a good spot. My editor's from Turkey. Real cheap. Very good.
Storytelling, primarily in the Mephiles area where you go underground and the entire area gets more ominous. The atmosphere for a Sonic game is shockingly really good, and I want more of this. Sadly, the Mephiles area is the only time this kind of happens, and a lot of the hub world otherwise feels very samey. I think in the next game if they do more environmental atmosphere stuff like this, not unlike what say Klonoa 2 tends to do, we could get something really interesting that actually works. A game where I'm not required to repeat myself a million times, I guess.
How do I make videos? LolX DDDD. Jesus. Is this your go? Is this your go, Cosform? Is this your go? This editing? Oh yeah, this is why he takes a month to make a video. £185 a month for this. Unbelievable. I'm very much a Dumbsville defender, but I know the content and the goal. I don't think it's necessary to disclose that for outsiders. Is it fair? Oh, it's just interesting from someone like me who's never seen him before, you know?
I've got a couple other nitpicks and complaints too, but like the Discord kittens and girlfriends of Sonic creators, my complaints are pretty minor, all things considered. The ranking system
That was a good joke, well done.
I feel is a bit too easy. I was able to S-rank the levels on my first go, even when
I think this is I would call this a skilled issue. That's what I would call this, because I would say Shadow Generation is probably like the hardest. Like there were numerous times where I went for a level the first time and I got like a B or A tier. I went for it again and I still got an A tier, but then like I got S, you know, like after a couple of tries. Now bearing in mind, I'm not like a super Sonic Andy. I've played like a lot of games, but like I'm not like a, yeah, you know. But I think this is probably like, with Sonic Generations, I think it's just as simple as don't die. Really, as long as you don't die, I think you get the S tier basically. But in Shadow Generations, they want you to do a bit more. You know, they want you to like actually like use your chaos control. They want you to like take the higher paths, you know? Like I think this game did it way better than most. I think this is genuinely a case of you're too good at Sonic. I think that's what this is, because I think this is one of the best games to S. This was easily one of the most fun Sonic games. In fact, there's only two Sonic games where I felt inspired to go for the highest rank, which was Shadow Generations and Sonic Advance 3. Those were the only two games where I felt like I really wanted to go over. And that's because they were like tough, but not so tough where like, it's like, okay, it's impossible. Okay, it's impossible. It was tough enough where I'm like, hey, come on. Not even Rush. Rush was too easy. I got S's like first time, you know? It's first time, you know?
I felt like I didn't really deserve it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just really good at Sonic.
You are. I think this is actually just a skilled issue. I think you're just very, very good at Sonic, and I think that's where this opinion comes from.
The exception, though, is the last two Radical Highway levels, which were actually really hard to S-rank. Like, seriously, the difficulty spike is weird here. Although, with that being said, I loved the challenge. It was really fun. Frustrating, but fun. It reminded me of why I loved Generations and getting that muscle memory in. Although, the ranking system in that game is a piss easy, too, so... My point is, I think the ranking system should be just a little bit harder. Also, Chaos Island's music sucks ass.
Oh, no! Whoa. Oh, is this your go? Hey. Who is it? Cam the MVP. Is this your guy? Is this your guy, yeah? Is this your guy? Are you sure? Are you sure this is your guy? Yeah? Are you sure? Like, I just want to make it very, very clear. Like, before I say anything, is this your go? I'd be very careful if I were you. I'd be very careful what you say next, Cam the MVP. I'd be very, very careful.
It sounds like a 14-year-old's dubstep song he made in FL Studio Mobile. I ended up just...
Okay, what? Okay, hang on. I want to know what is the best music in the game then? What is it? Go on. Oh, no,
choosing
no.
a different song over the level. It's like really bad.
Used to shop at all D's. I ran up some numbers. Now I got what you all need.
Also, very brief.
Your zoom in edit is not going to convince me, Dumbsville. Your take sucks. Your take is bad. You suck at you're the worst guy ever made.
Because I know someone will ask. The story, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't care. And you know, I could make a whole segment complaining about how corny the writing is and how—
Oh my god, what? This guy's just, do you know what it is? It's just ADHD, isn't it? It's actually just ADHD. He hates the challenge acts because they slow down the pacing. He hates the story because they slow down the pacing. He's just old. No, he's not even old. He's just young. He's full of ADHD and beans. He's eating his Weetabix this morning. Now, don't get me wrong, right? Is the story like fucking cinnamon? No, but like, I thought it was. I at least enjoyed it enough not to skip the cutscenes. And to be honest, that's a good compliment for me. It's not cinema, but it wasn't so bad that I wanted to skip the cutscenes. I thought they were interesting enough. I thought Shadow being able to see Maria again, or at least a figment of her, was really nice. Like, him shedding a tear at the very end was a nice moment, you know? It was just a nice moment. It's a Sonic story. It's not high art, but, like, you kind of know what you're getting. I feel like that's just me. Like, I'm not gonna defend this take. I think this is probably the take where I disagree with you, but I'm not gonna disagree with you super hard because, you know, the story isn't high art. But for what the story is, which is a Sonic story, are you telling me that bit at the end where, like, Doom finally realizes that Shadow's not gonna comply with him, and he goes, "I am Shadow the Hedgehog, and you will fall," or something like that, and he just like totally like, you telling me that wasn't fucking cool? Come on, you telling me that wasn't fucking good? If you tell me that wasn't cool, you're just wrong. You're actually just so wrong. Come on, Dumbsville. Help me. Help me.
eye roll worthy the whole thing is. But you know what? I'm just gonna be fully honest. Sonic hasn't really narratively appealed to me in years. And the things I would want are the very things the franchise doesn't currently want. And any opinion I do give is going to be completely invaluable. I'm just completely indifferent. I did not give a shit. So you know what? As the old saying goes, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. But at least I was sincere, I guess, and if you don't like that, suck my dick, maybe.
At least.
Again, you just argue twice now, chat. Twice now he's yelled at a hypothetical person he just made up. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's like one of my favorite. I love it now, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since the Meets December, when people go people online now, like I smile inside. Like smile like a Cheshire cat. I'm like, when people just start arguing with ghosts. I think it will forever be my favorite thing in a YouTube video from now on. It's become my favorite thing. The only corny aspect was Maria telling Shadow why she named him Shadow, but even then that was relevant to the story and Shadow's character. Yeah, that was definitely a cornball moment for sure. But I still thought it was adorable. Like I think, you know, it's like. You hear like this character Maria for so long. Like you play Sonic Adventure 2. I've made the mistake of playing a bit of Shadow Generations. You watch like Sonic 3 movies, and when you actually get to see Maria and Shadow interact, it's kind of sweet, you know. Like it's a person that is held. This is a person that Shadow has held in high regard for so long, you know.
Honest.
To be fair, aren't you the person online in this case? Well, yeah, but like. Hang on, what exactly did he say? Hang on.
The opposite of indifferent. I did not give a shit. So you know what? As the old saying goes, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. But at least I was sincere, I guess, and if you don't like that, suck my dick, maybe.
The implication, like, if I'm the person online, the implication is I didn't like that he was sincere. I like the fact that he was sincere, I just don't agree. So he's not yelling at me, he's boxing Shadows. I like the fact that he was sincere. I like it when people talk with their chest. I love that shit. I don't like that. So he's
At least.
I don't want to do that. That's gross. Well, you first, okay? Maybe we take turns. That's gross.
Honest.
Disgusting.
Hate me, but do it honestly.
In conclusion, I enjoyed Shadow Generations. I think it is a really good game, and I do indeed think it's worth your time. However, there are so many people calling it a masterpiece and whatnot. And you know—
hang on. Round of applause. He actually showed some videos. Oh my god. Is this the first time? Is this the first time someone's been like, but people online are saying it's good, and he actually showed videos? Hang on.
It's worth your time. However, there are some people.
Yes, he actually showed videos. Oh my god. The story of Shadow Generations is beautiful. 35k views. That's a little crazy. That is a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Can we go back? What's the top video? Why Sonic X Shadow Generations a masterpiece. I agree with that. I agree with that one.
So many people call
What makes Shadow Generations a masterpiece? 4.1K. A bit low on the view count for you to include that, if I'm being honest. But fair.
and whatnot.
Sonic X Shadow Generation. That's just a review. Not the best example, but like at least you provided some videos. I'll give you. I'll give you props. I'll give you props.
Parade or hate on them for enjoying a game. I mean, hell, I enjoyed it. But this game still has a long ways to go before it's even considered a masterpiece.
A long ways to. You're insane. Like, I can't think of a single thing, at least in my more casual Sonic experience, that makes this game bad. When you say long, it's like what? Okay, so hang on, just to clarify. It's short hopping, don't care. Drifting, I don't miss it. Story being a bit corny. No, sorry, story being you're indifferent to the story, which I would say, okay, fair. I thought it was at least a little bit charming. Hub world being clunky, didn't show any examples because I thought it was easy to navigate. Didn't show any examples. Chaos Island Act 1's music is shit. It's just objectively wrong. It's the best OST in the game, I think. At least one of them. Space Colony Arc also goes really hard. I fucking love it. So I'm just like what do you like? What are we doing here? Oh, challenge is bad as well, which I would say. You said the pacing. Oh, so hang on. You said the challenge acts were padding the runtime, and it's like padding implies the game. Padding, I would say, strongly implies. I don't know about you guys. I would say padding strongly implies the game is long enough as is, and what this thing is extending it artificially. To which I would say, padding the runtime of a 1 to 2 hour game is insane. That's insane. It's fair enough for you to say you don't like it, but to say padding, I think, is the wrong word to use. You also questioned the pacing, in which case I think we came to the conclusion that I don't think you knew what you meant when you used that word. Or at least I think you were probably referring to the challenge acts, in which I would say I don't agree. I think the formula of challenge act and boss, I think, works very, very well, and I really enjoy it. And I think you should just put Subway Surfers on your screen next time you're doing challenge acts. I think that will help you. So when you say long list, your list is debunked. Your list is bad, and you lose, and I win, Dumbsville. I am smart. What's the opposite of a Ville? Like a Ville is like what's like a Ville? Like Dumbsville, like Towns, the city of Townsville. Am I like Smart Town? Is that what I am? You are Dumbsville, and I'm Smart Town. Get owned, loser.
I mean, hell, it's not even the best Sega game or the best platformer released this year. I mean, have y'all played Metaphor? Have y'all played Astrobot?
Astrobot Glaze, I will be there no matter what.
You probably didn't, but you should. Shadow Gens in comparison doesn't even come close to that. I wouldn't even really call it great. It is great at being really good, but there are a number of things holding it back from being a true masterpiece. And in my opinion, it's still...
And in my opinion, I think you're just too much of a Sonic Andy. I think that's what it is. This is... people complaining about EXP share in Gen 9. That's what it sounds like to me.
Isn't on the same level as Generations. With that being said, though, there is absolutely something here. And if the next Sonic game refines and expands on and fixes what's already here, then yeah, this potential new game could be a masterpiece. Or at the very least, just a great fucking game. And for the first time, I can say, yeah, this is a step in the right direction. Which at this point, though, isn't really saying much. I mean, for fuck's sake, how many steps in the right direction have we had? Unleashed was one, but it was bogged down by the werehog and really bad pacing. Colors was one, but it was a Wii game with too many 2D sections, and felt a pared back compared to Unleashed at its peak. Generations was one, a fantastic one too, but it was still too short and fell apart at the last minute. Then Lost World happened.
What the fuck is this shit?
Then there was Mania, which was a 2D game made by a different developer entirely. But then immediately afterwards there was Forces, a game that was also for a time seen as a step in the right direction. That is until the game actually came out. And then Frontiers happened, a game people said is another step in the right direction. And it's like, how many of these you goddamn need? My point is, it's a miracle.
I don't know, man. The journey of 1,000 miles takes a single step, Mr. Dumbsville. Do you know that saying, huh? Maybe Sonic just needs a couple of steps. Maybe they just need a couple of steps, you know what I mean? Is there something so wrong with that? See, Pokemon is taking steps in the right direction, okay? Maybe you should be a bit more optimistic, Dumbsville, instead of being dumb. Maybe you should.
Shadow Gens didn't drop the ball for me. And unlike every other step in the right direction previously, I hope the next Sonic game finally just makes it to the fucking finish line. I really hope whatever the next Sonic game isn't another step in the right direction. Instead, I want it to already be there.
But you're probably gonna make a video shitting on it anyway. For the algorithm, baby! Here comes the money! Here comes the money!
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Bullshit, no filler, just a great fucking game. So, in other words, they're gonna fuck this up and make Lost World 2.
Well, Mr. Dumbsville, you're an odd fella. And you make a very strange video, I'm gonna be honest. Most of your points either stem to you're just wrong versus I just don't agree. And it's honestly a shame that I do think it's a shame that you're so good at Sonic that you can't appreciate Shadow Generations. I think that's the issue. Because like when you talk about half the things that you talked about in the video were just things that I, as a more casual Sonic fan, someone who plays the games when they come out, but that's just kind of it, I didn't notice. So that's it's a bit of a shame. I think, do you know what you should do? I think you should just take a break from Sonic for the next 10 years. And then you should come back accordingly. It's like with Pokemon fans, you know? If someone is still complaining about the EXP share being mandatory in Pokemon in the large 2025, I think you should just take a break from the series. I think you should play Power World. I think you should play Nexomon. There's a couple of other creature collecting games like Temtem maybe. You know what I mean? So what I would say is that if you're a short hop drifting Andy, maybe you should just stick to maybe you should stick to your Mario Kart Wii. You should stick to Sonic Generations and leave it there, brother. I think you should do. It's the opposite of a skill issue. A skilled issue. That's what it is. Yokai, you know, Yokai Watch, yeah? Just play one of those, brother. You should do one of those. Bravo 6. I think the comments are just going to be probably shit posty. We'll scroll a little bit, I guess. But they're probably not going to get too much value out of these Zoomer-filled comment sections. Shadow becomes Venom. That's all it took for me to buy this game. True! 12 inches of Shadow. I don't get the reference, therefore you're bad. Is there anything you replied to? As long lost, a Sonic video released by Dumbsville in years. Wait, is he like returned to Sonic? Like, what's happening here? I didn't expect to come back to making Sonic content. I don't know. Maybe you should go back to not making Sonic content. I don't know, Mrs. Dumbsville. I don't know. I didn't either, but fuck it. You know, you're fair. You know, it's a Christmas miracle. I love how this video isn't why this game sucks because it isn't old. It's instead constructive criticism. If Turbo Bist, did we watch the same video? Like, did we actually watch the same video? Because like his first two complaints were literally the game isn't Sonic Generations. Like there's no short hopping or drifting. So like yeah, the game was literally his first two complaints was literally just game not old. Like this is what I'm talking about, Chad. These are like half the time when we watch these videos, it's on in the background. Which hey, fair, I do it too. I also don't leave a comment glazing the guy. You know what I mean? Crazy. I honestly have to disagree with you saying that not having short hops or drifts off the Shadow Generation is a bad thing. Oh, Algu Random 422, my goat. My goat. I'm of the opinion that it works to make Shadow play differently from Sonic while following the same formula, making Shadow a tad bit more rigid, while Sonic's a lot more loose and smoother feeling at full speed. Well, I do agree it should be in the next Sonic game, though, if the boost formula has one. Also, if they made a new game where Sonic and Shadow were playable and Sonic had short hopping or drifting or Shadow didn't, that'd honestly be a really cool idea where you get to play two but similar different game styles so you can focus on two types of level design that play to different strengths. Again, but you make this delineation where like the difference between Sonic and Shadow is like short hopping, and I'm just like I mean, I suppose it is, but like I just didn't notice. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm just not Sonic pilled enough. Instead of him being too Sonic pilled, maybe I'm not Sonic pilled enough. Maybe I'm not playing enough Sonic. What Sonic games do I need to play? To be fair, I do need to play Unleashed. I do need to play Unleashed in the colors, and I need to play. What else do I need to play? Do I need to play Heroes? There are no mistakes with this game, right? True, I'm not voting this one. If all this gameplay is Dumbsy, why is he good at Sonic games? The classic game is the classic. The classic. Alfonso, he's one of you. He's one of you. Please don't play more Sonic. I might have to now. It was called Oldie Generations. See, it's just shitposty comments. Shadow Thunny Generations Tano here. The internet's busiest oldies Korean spice garlic. Crazy. Not gonna lie, I feel bad for you, sister. Next man like is probably gonna have a refinement of the Frontiers formula. But if it's actually good, I'll like it. Yeah, fair. I mean, they're having fun. Yeah, listen. Hey, listen. Dumbsville, you're an odd fella. Keep doing your thing, brother. It's definitely worth 183 quid on Patreon, isn't it? It's definitely worth... I'm being mean again, okay. I'll leave it there. It was at least an interesting video to watch. At least I didn't end up going, yeah. So, interesting enough. Good stuff.